What's up YouTube? My name is Cell Games and today Zer's on Nessus. You can find him over here in the Watcher's Grave, over on the top right of the map. Let's go see what his inventory has for today. As always, he's got his exotic Cipher, so if you're working on getting exotics from previous season passes, definitely pick this up. Also, if you are caught up on all those previous exotic, you can use it to get another exotic engram, which, as you can see, will catch you up on every single exotic that we've had previously as a world drop. Weapons and armor, specifically for your class. And if you pick it up, it'll give you a random exotic piece of armor that hopefully has a decent stat roll. Giving me the Lion Rampants, and overall not the best roll I've gotten so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. For the weapon this week, he's got the Skyburner's Earth. This weapon lobs large explosives seeking slugs when you're firing from the hip. When you're aiming down sights, the slugs travel fast and straight with higher damage and lower rate of fire. You can also use this to penetrate Cabal shields. As you can see, it's secondary perk for the Empire. Weapon is full auto and does extra damage to Cabal and penetrates Phalanx shields. And it's not just limited to Phalanx shields. Any of those dome shields that you see them have, you can shoot through those as well, because those are considered Cabal shields. But yeah, not the best exotic weapon. Pick this up for collection purposes, but for the most part, you don't really see too much play out of this. As you can see, the Skyburner's Oath also has an exotic catalyst, which gives it about 20 plus range. Doesn't necessarily make this weapon much better, but hey, at least now you can generate orbs with it now. This week's Hunter exotic is the Ophidia Space, and it grants you an extra throwing knife. For the most part, this is used for middle tree gunslinger, and it comes with a 60 overall stat roll and 21 recovery, some decent discipline and strength and mobility if you masterwork it. I definitely say maybe pick this up. It's not the best roll you can get, but if you don't have this yet, I say definitely pick this up, given if you've read the recent TWAB that they're going to be increasing the play with fire buff for the middle tree. So yeah, pick this up if you don't have a better one sitting in your vault. For the Titans, he's brought the Severance Enclosure. His exotic perk is Sphermatic Trigger. Powered melee blows unleash a damaging explosion. Finishers and final blows against powerful targets increase the radius and damage of the explosion. Given the fact that middle tree, which is what I would use this exotic for, it didn't see too much play in in-game PvE or PvP. Given that they're going to be buffing it against higher tier enemies like majors and bosses, I say definitely pick this up, see if it works for you. So yeah, definitely pick this up. It's a 62 overall roll. It's got some pretty hefty, acceptable amount of recovery, discipline, and intellect. If you masterwork this, it'll give you a +1 in 4 stats. So yeah, I say grab this if you don't have a better one in your vault. I see Severance Enclosure seeing a little bit more play coming next season, if anything, just for testing purposes, so we'll see. And last but not least, we have the Eye of Another World for the Warlocks. Its exotic perk is Cerebral Uplink, highlights priority targets and improves the regeneration speed of your grenade, melee, and rift ability. This buff overcharges your abilities in a sense of, even if you have like +100 discipline on your character stat overall, it'll actually increase so this buff that you get from the Cerebral Uplink actually goes beyond 100 stats. So if you have 100 discipline, it'll actually go beyond that and decrease your cooldown on grenades. So I don't know by how much, but if you have 100 discipline, it'll actually go beyond 100 discipline. So, basically better cooldowns. And even if you don't have max 100 stats, you'll still get, a better cooldown on top of that. So you don't necessarily have to go to 100, but if you go 100, just know it goes beyond that. Overall stat is 62. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily lean towards any of the stats that you would want on a Warlock, This particular roll of the Eye of Another World is not great, but you can get a better one if maybe, you know, you're on your Warlock and you grab that exotic engram and you get, you know, exotic Cipher if you don't get it the first try, and you can try it for a second time. But overall, you can pass on this specific roll of the Eye of Another World, but I say try and get a roll that is decent on the Eye of Another World. For today, Bansi 44's got Radar Tuner, which radar immediately returns when you stop enemy down sights. More of a PvP mod. If you don't have this, pick this up so you can just add it in your collections, but for the most part, I don't see why you have to have this. Also, he's got Targeting Adjuster, which gives you plus 10 aim assists, so if you don't already have this for PvP, definitely pick this up. And today, Ada-1's got Scout Rifle Ammo Finder, increases your chance of finding primary ammo for scout rifles. More of a PvE perk. I definitely say pick this up just to fill out that mod slot in your collections. And today she's got stack on stacks for Charge with Light. Gaining an extra stack of Charge with Light. For every single stack you gain, you lose, as a penalty, you get minus 10 recovery. It's a very good Charge with Light mod, especially if you're trying to, you know, maintain a decent amount of Charge with Light stacks. So say if you have a build with that has charged up, which allows for an additional stack of Charge with Light, which will get you up to about 3 charges. Or if you have a build that has supercharge, which you can have 2 additional stacks of Charge with Light up to a maximum of 5. It's really good to put with stacks on stacks so you can get those charges quickly every single time you pick up an orb. Well, that's it for today's video. For those of you who made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your viewership. If you found this video useful, please drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. As well as comment down below and let me know if you'll be picking up anything from Xur's inventory. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new Destiny 2 video. This has been the Cell Games. Have a good one.